Hello.
Hello,
This is post commentary. I ditched the audio file that I was responsible for. You? Yeah. What you're seeing is the result. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So this is the recent X1, obviously, to beat the first world in Toonland or Toon World, whatever its name is.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of noticed you actually use that as a shortcut. Think about that.
Yeah. Basically, I gave this a couple hours to practice, but my route was basically based off of the fastest speedrun of X1 that's good out there. I didn't really practice myself much. I more or less just went off the advice of that run,
Yep.
and that run they did that. So.
And I just simply practiced. So.
So
And.
whose strategy will be the winner here?
Mm-hmm.
Guess we'll just see.
Maybe the guy who's holding run button all the time.
Yes. It's just as a heads up. Somebody's run is destroyed by constantly holding the run button in places they shouldn't be holding down the run button.
Mm-hmm.
The suspense, who is it?
Yeah.
I guess this run won't have the args and screaming of us failing at any point. The fact that this video is 15 minutes is pretty obvious that we don't fail that terribly.
I recall I was pretty chill about it, so.
Yep.
Of course, my alter ego is going like cracking his knuckles or something like that. They're like going down.
Oh yeah. It's funny, like this deck or this tournament, this group is like the only group that has done decks like at this point, or at least it's uploaded decks at this point. Like, what is up with that? Like, do people like terrible camera angles in early PlayStation games or something like that?
Well,
And
you may have not seen the wiki, but there's a poll up for what best Gex game or favorable. Most of them picked Gex 2.
Wow. I gotta go there and vote Dex 1 then, because I've played a bit of Dex 3. Coming into the tournament, I only had experience with the original Dex. It's kind of those games that I hadn't played for like a decade or so. I played as a kid, only got to the jungle world. At that point, it was too hard for me, because this game is a bit challenging. It's decently challenging. But yeah, never played Dex 2 or 3 before that. I played a bit of Dex 3 now that the tournament started. But I personally think Dex 1 is a far superior game. I'm not a big fan of early PlayStation 3D platformers. There's only a few that really stood out at that point in time.
Yeah.
Speedrun Dex 4. This is a good quality 2D platformer. And I'll be really sad if there's only like a small handful of runs in this entire tournament that only has 3 games featured in it.
Yeah. And technically, this is the first time I ever played Gex. Gex 1. That is Gex 2. I'm pretty familiar with. I recall I actually rented it out once. So that's one of the reasons why. Well, the other match is so bad and very long and kind of boring.
We don't even need to go into detail about that. I'll say is you are redeeming yourself very well so far.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm not starting off on a... Well, I started off on a good note. I had a good lead in the first level. Here I am, jumping randomly. And well, I'm running for no good reason. Sometimes I just like frickin' play these games like I'm frickin' ADD because I have to like constantly keep moving, and that gets me into trouble more often than not. And I have to wait for stuff like platforms that I'm moving. Hence why I'm frickin' falling off and stuff, getting instant death from overpowered green goop.
Mm-hmm. And I'm mostly well, partially paying attention to what's happening on screen. There's so much going on. I'm just going like, okay, avoid red things.
Yes. And avoid falling into the green goop stuff. Good point is not terrible blowout. I'm a level behind, I guess.
Probably think that hurts. Ow! That's for 12 years of Full House.
And I guess one thing I did find interesting that most of the lines that Gex says in this game is actually used in Gex 2, and I didn't actually know that.
I have not played Gex 2 yet, so I would not know that. I haven't heard anything in Gex 3 at least.
I think most of the lines in Gex 3 are actually pretty new, so.
I mean, I think there's a lot more references I've noticed in Gex 3. I'm kind of happy that, in that sense, I've waited to play Gex 3 now. And there's my third death, where I just went forward without hitting the camera. But yeah, I'm kind of happy that I waited until now to play Gex 3, because if I played it as a kid, I mean, I guess the game's T-rated.
Yeah, it should have been.
And that's a game that you'll get a lot more out of if you are older and if you get what he's saying, because there's a lot of pop culture in that game. A lot more than in this game. There's not so much pop culture here. A lot of his remarks aren't really related to anything, but basically everything he says in Gex 3 is related to something. Which I can appreciate. That's probably one of the best parts of the game that I think so far.
Of course, if you had this as a kid, you'd be, like, really confused.
Yeah, probably.
What is the lizard saying and why?
Oh, and there's my game over.
Oh.
You could probably stop watching now. This is pretty obvious who's gonna win at this point, but...
Of course,
yeah.
That's well, okay, not really. I do slip into the water once. So.
Hey, don't spoil the run now.
What, you did too?
I've already spoiled it pretty well. But yeah, obviously, if you got a game over, it wouldn't be finished.
Like the slime boys, next time.
Yeah, congrats on your win, Desert
Monkey. So, what else to talk about?
Probably not the best start for me. I'll just off the start. So you get to watch 7 minutes of me failing more. Woohoo! But yeah, I think this is my first ever loss in a round 1. I mean, like, I only go back to IS 6, but still, I've done like 6 round 1s before that, so props to you for that. Hopefully the rest of the tourney goes a little better than this. Because we are in a pretty good group. I mean, Lyle's got some skill too, and Bear Maniac, if he's good at Gex 2, I wanna force him into speedrunning Gex 1 if Gex 2 is what he's good at. I actually didn't run this on an emulator like I usually would. I actually ran this on PS3 because my emulator doesn't want to work with my computer anymore.
Mine
yeah.
has. So, yeah, there was my death.
Yep. But yeah, Gex 3 is on the PSN store, so that's why I've been playing Gex 3. Gex 2 is not on the US PSN store. I'm not sure if it's on like a Europe store or what, but either way,
Yeah, wait, no, I don't
should
own
really
it.
get that on there, because I don't think I'm really going to be able to run Gex 2 until I either find a hard copy, or there's other ways I could potentially do it. There's a pain in the ass, but if somebody wants to run Gex 2, I'll certainly accommodate for that. I'm just hoping that I can wiggle my way around until that time comes, until I either get eliminated before that or what. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully... Actually, there is a record of a lot of IS winners winning their first round 1 match, so... I think Fraser did last tournament. Maybe this first loss is a blessing.
Yeah, we'll see.
This place is weirder than 4th of July at Rick James' place.
And another run was...
This place is
I think another match was done after this, and had the same audio problems, which I was responsible as well. Go me.
Yes, Lyle and I did our run right after this, so...
You'll be hearing post-commentary as well.
If you're watching this and thinking I'm gonna fail again, I don't want to give a spoiler, but it is closer. Lyle doesn't fail either. It's a more entertaining run for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my biggest downfall, by far, was the fact that I kind of knew what I was doing. I had enough good level knowledge to know what I was doing. A lot of my deaths came from when I was freaking speeding along and ended up falling into goop and crap like that. But
Yeah, the run thing is a little tricky because you tend to slide a lot more.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's evidence that I am really ADD on my runs, and basically I just keep on running and when I really don't have to, and that gets me into problems. I'm pretty sure I die here as well. I guess we'll see. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't.
Yeah.
I won't die after this, I don't think.
Yeah, there's two parts I hate. This part and, like, one where you're running down the hill and then there's, like,
Oh,
two
yeah,
platforms above the
I
water.
But, yeah, that green stuff is way overpowered for the first world, I think. It does not give much of a... what's it called? Doesn't give much of a learning curve, that's for sure. And the
Yeah.
fact that there's no frickin' lives in the first few levels. I mean,
Yeah,
like, there's a couple, but you have to go out of their way to get them. I mean, that's part of the reason frickin' why there were so many game overs in these first few matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it goes in, like, in point to, like, the Spyro series where you actually get a chance to jump out of the water.
Yeah. It's not instant death, at least.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're really far out,
I mean, like,
in which you can't get back.
in a couple of hours since this run, I've, like, already played into Kung Fu area. It's only been, like, 2 hours since this run. I'm already up there, but I've already got, like, 50 lives or whatever, because there are so many frickin' lives to do the bonus levels and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably why they're there.
Yeah. But it's kind of overpowered in a sense, because you can go back in the levels, and it'll be all the same lives and stuff, and you can do the bonus levels over and over again. There's a couple levels where the bonus level's like 30 seconds to the level, you don't really have to put yourself at risk, so that seems a little bit goofy that you can get level or get lives so easily, but not in the beginning levels. That's one of my few queased about Dex 1. Otherwise, it's a pretty strong game.
Yeah.
For early PlayStation, at least. There weren't so many good early PlayStation games, in my opinion. Most of the quality games came in the later part of the PlayStation's life. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you were definitely redeeming yourself for that last round. You're going through this level very fast. I'm impressed.
Yeah, even though I kind of dislike this game, or, well, be failing at it, I wouldn't mind another game like this.
Yeah, for sure. If they were to make a new Gex, I would like to see it be a side-scroller. Which I know it isn't going to be. People are going to remember it for the 3D game, sadly. I'm happy that there's the frickin' Rayman Origins, that's a side-scroller. And they did a good job at it. And I'm happy because a lot of people would probably think of Rayman for its 3D games, but they made it based off of the original mostly.
Or to go the whole Sonic Unleashed route, or Gex.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, like Sonic Unleashed, I think they have some...
I mean, like the 3D to 2D segments.
Yeah, the 2D things. I mean, like, people don't complain about 2D games half as much as 3D games these days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's partly because they're kind of retro, they got that good quality about them, but still.
Yeah, that, and they're not as hard to mess up, because you pretty much should know what
But
you're doing.
they good challenges too. Yeah, props to them for taking that route for those games.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, that should be the end of the video. So, thank you for watching and see ya.